we were down 58-56, and Coach Martin drew the play up for me to get the ball, and I could have forced it. I could have did something out of my character, but I stayed in my character, and I passed to Jermaine, and the ball, he was wide open, up his man doubled, and the ball went off his foot and out of bounds. Something that we joke about to this day. It still hurts. Yeah. But it ended up costing us the game. We didn't win. So we took second, and then it ended up actually costing us a bid to the NCAA tournament, which was our main goal for the season. So, it's just how the ball bounces sometimes. It's something that, we still think about to this day. Some things you can laugh and joke about, some things still sting. Right. But again, it's part of that growth. It's part of that maturation process. And still, there's no group that I would rather play with in college, man, than those guys that were on that team for sure.
And I appreciate you sharing that. I mean, and that's why I want people to understand, like, it does hurt, man. It's frustrating. I mean, like you said, when you did the right things and you put all the work in and the time, and you had the right teammates and around you.
Yep.
It doesn't happen, right? I mean, it's very frustrating. But I think that's what I want everyone to understand. Just because you do everything as perfect as it can be doesn't always mean it's going to happen,
Yep.
And then as far as athletes go, I like to tell them, or athletes or even businessmen or whatever, if you're not exhausting and doing the most you can at the highest level you can, it still may not happen no matter what. So you want to make sure you want to make sure when you're doing stuff, you're actually doing it and purposely doing it the right way, so that you can set yourself up to win. And I think that's all you can do. The rest is out of your hands. Because I still think, argumentatively, you guys still beat some of the best teams. I mean, Creighton, we're talking about ranked teams here. This isn't like, this isn't like, just some teams that were just playing. You guys are playing against nationally ranked teams, and you beat them, and you still didn't get to make it, you still didn't get that chance in the tournament, which is really crazy to me. So really crazy.
Yep.
No. So now let's talk about this, man. We're gonna keep this moving, because there's so much great information given Q World and all the young athletes out there trying to get there, and also the college athletes right now. Let's move on to the next step. I mean, we got now you just senior year, you're done. I mean, the whole new world out there. You're seeing a new phase of life that you probably never even knew about. Agents and all that stuff now are coming into play. Just tell me, I mean, I almost would believe that's even more stressful than getting recruited in high school. So talk about that, man, and what that process is like. I mean, I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. In my opinion, it was way more stressful, way worse than getting recruited. Because now you got, and again, not every agent is a slime ball, but there are some slime balls out there. It just is what it is. Yep. And I had a guy that I thought that, my dad, my grandfather had met with him in Kansas City while I was out preparing for the draft and all these pre-draft workouts and the Portsmouth top seniors camp. I was out there getting ready in California with my Uncle Chris, who coaches with the Warriors now.
Oh, wow.
So I'm getting ready for all that. So they kind of met with a couple different agents kind of on my behalf, and I was always speaking with them. And then I planned on meeting all these guys at Portsmouth and kind of choosing there. Mm-hmm. But the one that I was leaning towards, told me all the things that I wanted to hear, told my dad, told my grandfather, everything that I wanted to hear. But then when it was time for him to put, the money up to train at this certain facility in Las Vegas, Impact, which I'm sure everybody's heard of, oh, well, you can take a loan out for this, or you can do this. And well, that wasn't talked about. So now this is one, I'm thinking this is the guy I'm going to sign with. So now this is one bridge that's burned. So he's out of the picture. Right. But to fast forward, the people that I'm with, that I signed with then, I'm still with them to this day.
That's awesome.
Best thing that I ever decided to do. We'll sign with them, with J.R. Hensley with ASM in the States. And they're teamed up, basically same company with my Spanish agent, Guillermo Bermejo, here in Madrid, Spain. And it's never been about the money with them. And that's what has made all my situations here really good, is because they've put money at the back and made the actual basketball and living situation number one. And it's always worked out on the financial side, which has been a blessing. But that picking the agent was definitely worse than getting recruited, because it was just a whole nother crazy, grimy recruiting process. and you just don't know if these people have your best interests, and there's nothing to gauge it off of. You can gauge it off of their other clients. You know, you can gauge what other players did at a school. You know, is this coach a good coach? Is he holding true? But I can't go look up all this agent's players and see, well, did he have a good career in Turkey or Italy? It just doesn't work like that. But everything worked out, man.
No, that's good. I mean, talk about that too. I mean, because so here's one thing I want people to know, because obviously you want to hit NBA. I mean, it's a goal. You want to go in and play in the NBA. And how did that look for you, like coming out of college, working out, and what happened when you figured, okay, the NBA may not happen, or how was that? How did you feel about that? And then how did the door open for the European?
So basically, I had good numbers, obviously, coming out. I still was playing a lot of four. I really wasn't playing a lot of small forward, even though I could put the ball on the floor and everybody knew I could shoot. But the thing for me coming out of college was, can he guard a three in the league? Well, there's not a lot of people that can guard Kevin Durant or LeBron James or any of these guys, but meaning that second tier guys, those bench guys, can he guard one of them? So that was kind of my focus. If I did get the opportunity to get these NBA workouts, that's what I wanted to prove. And I feel like I did that. In the way that I got those NBA workouts, I had 8 of them, I believe, 8 or 9.
Yes, sir.
And I went to the Portsmouth Invitational, which is they invite, you know, supposedly 64 of the top seniors in the country. And basically they split you up in teams of 8 guys or so. Okay. And you just basically play pickup. Right. In front of all these agents, in front of GMs. And I was blessed to play better each. You play 3 games, and I played pretty good the first one, played good the second, I played really good the third. Gotcha. And they come up with all these rankings, and I got voted number 7. I got ranked number 7 out of 64.
Ooh, that's huge.
So this was real big. So now my agent's phone is kind of getting blown up, and this is how I'm getting all these workouts. I think that was at the middle of April. So from then until the time of the draft, which is at the end of June, I think I had 8 to 9 workouts, which I wasn't expecting any. Wow. Maybe 1, 2. Right. So just that whole process, man, was a once in a lifetime opportunity. You know, they fly you in, give you $150, you order room service, go work out for them. Right. Bench press a couple times, and they're flying you back out. You know, you're not even there 24 hours. So It was stressful going through it, but just embracing that grind during it, man, it was fun. It was something that, you know, I'll enjoy being able to tell my kids one day for sure.
Right, no doubt, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. So what's your experience like to these athletes that don't know much about playing overseas and what it's about, and kind of even hip them to the knowledge of what they should look for and how they should embrace it and change their mental status and the way they look at it. Talk a little bit about that and what you've had to go through over there and how you like it.
I think first off, you need to understand what you're getting yourself into. It's not going to be easy. It doesn't matter where you're going. You can go to Germany, you can go to Romania, you can go to Finland, you can go to Sweden, Turkey. It doesn't matter. It's going to be different. So you need to dive into their culture. You need to try and learn, you know, the basic parts of their language. You're not going to be able to learn everything, but, you know, attempt to say thank you in their language. Hello, bye, you're welcome, things like this. The numbers, you know, this is the type of things that the coaches, the players, they really, you know, hit on and really thank you for that, you know, for you being in their country and really trying, because they know that you're going to try on the court, but taking that extra step, man, it just means something to them. Right. But also just, again, understanding what you're getting yourself into. You're not down the street. You're not going to your auntie's cookout on Saturday for Memorial. No, you have a game. You know, you're not, there's a gathering at, you know, Uncle D's house or whatever. No, you don't get to go to that. Right. And that hurts. It hurts a lot sometimes. But it's important to see the big picture. You're doing something that you love, you get paid regardless of the amount. Right. And it's a life experience that you'll be able to tell your children, hopefully your grandchildren, all these different things. And that's kind of was my focus. And then I had at the time, my first couple of years, we weren't married. So she was my fiance at the time, but now she's my wife. And then you share those experiences, you know, with my wife. And now it's just being able to show her places like Dubai,
Yeah.
Amsterdam, Cologne,
Yeah.
Germany, Munich, Berlin, London. I mean, all these different places. Istanbul, Turkey. We lived there for 2 years. So, I mean, these are some of the perks. While people are back home flipping through a textbook, you're in it. You're living there and it's not just a vacation. I mean, you're living there for 8-9 months. So, just the understanding is going to be different. There's going to be tough times, but man, it's a blessing.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And I'll be honest with you, man, I have to agree with you 100%. Like I always tell people to get out of their comfort zone and go do things that they don't feel they should, but they should, because they're going to get more, they're going to learn more for the quality of what life's really about. They see more and understand like there's a bigger picture in this world. There's things out there that you can't even explain, like that happened or there. They're so beautiful, right? Well, my dad was in the military, so I lived in Germany for 4 years. So I got to see
you already know.
Man, I'm telling you. So it kind of built when I came back to the States, like it's a bigger picture for me, or gave me that like, I can do more and be better and be more. So
it teaches you to adapt too. It just teaches you to adapt to whatever. I don't care if it's a class project, if it's a new team, if it's a new job. I mean, it's just teaching you to adapt. Immerse yourself into whatever it is that you need to do to get the job done. And it just makes everything easier. So that's been a blessing too.
Oh man. So tell everybody where you at right now real quick. So
I'm in Bologna, Italy. It's about an hour and a half drive from Milan.
Okay.
Yep. This is my second season with this team, Virtus Bologna. Sigafredo Virtus Bologna, sponsored by a big coffee company here. So we actually just signed Marco Bellinelli from the Spurs.
What?
So we're waiting on him to get going.
That's awesome.
And he's still kind of got a little off season on him, so he needs to take his time and get in the swing of things. And then we got Milos Teodosic, which is a EuroLeague legend. He's probably the best passer I've ever played with. His vision is crazy. He played a couple years with the Clippers a couple years back. So I mean, you probably seen him in the highlights throw full court bowling passes to DeAndre Jordan and all that stuff. So definitely a good squad that I'm on, and a good situation that I'm a part of right now.
Well, I'm gonna have to break it into a different phase of this whole deal. You've been in Europe, so and here's one thing that's gonna help. This is gonna help. It's gonna help change the picture of what people in the United States think, or also what maybe Europeans think about the United States. But talk about the effect of the changes COVID-19's had in your world out there. I mean, over the last. Yes, sir.
Just for one thing that my wife and I like to pride ourselves on is still, even though we're not in America, still live like we would be at home. So if that's just going and getting a simple lunch, on a day where I only have one practice, I have to go to get a quick breakfast after we take our kids to school or to their little kindergarten, and none of that's happening right now.
Right.
None of that's happening right now. You can get your food to go, but none of that's happening. I really enjoy my kids coming to my games, because just seeing their excitement, seeing they think the world of me while I'm out there, and I like coming, stepping up to the plate for them, being that hero for them, and them not being able to be in the stands. It hurts, they can watch me on TV, which is cool, but just having that presence there of your boys over there in the stands, it hurts too. So just a bunch of different thing. My wife loves traveling over here. She can't really travel like that right now. Flights from country to country aren't expensive like flying from Kansas to California and it being $500. It's $50-$60 over here, but you can't do it right now because you got to have this visa for this country. You got to have permission from this country. So there's just a lot of different guidelines right now that you have to follow. Even right now, restaurants, like I said, are not open. They're only open right now. They just opened back up this week for lunch, but at 6 or 7, it's only takeout. Like, they shut down the restaurants. There's also a curfew. So sometimes when we get back late from games, from a bus trip, or if we flew to Russia and we get back late in the night, we have to drive with a paper in our car, letting us know we have permission to be out that were coming, you know, from a game or whatever, you know.
Wow.
You don't have, even right now in the States, you don't have to do that, you know? So just all these different things. And last but not least, you know, when it's a decision that my wife and I decided to go along with, is still be able to provide our kids with this human interaction, kid interaction. They need to go play. They need to go be around other kids. And it's been great so far, but can't walk them in anymore. Can't make sure they're okay. Can't put their stuff in their little cubby, take their jacket off. No, I got to wear a mask. My wife has to wear a mask to the gate. The teacher takes them inside, and you know, we'll see you at 4 or 4:30 when it's time for the pickup. So just those little bit of things, man. It's different, but we're trying to make the best of it.
Right. And you know, what's funny is like America on our side, everybody's mad because we're locked down. They talk about lockdown. And we're out in Kansas City right now because I live downtown Kansas City, which I love it down here. But all they do is just shut things down after 10 o'clock. Everything else is open.
Yeah. No, I did a full out quarantine here. I sent my family home when the pandemic first started last February, when things started getting bad here. I sent them home the end of February. We stopped practice. We went to Belgrade, traveling in the middle of all this craziness when it was really bad.
Right.
And we played on the neutral side against a team from Turkey. And after that, so I stayed in the house for about 30 days, maybe 26 or 7 days by myself.
Wow.
Only had my groceries delivered. I had to do in-home workouts. And there would be, you could hear like a big police intercom drive by. And I live out by the airport, kind of in the country. I don't even live in the city, but they're coming out in Italian, letting you know, stay in your house. You're not welcome outside. Can't come out, blah, blah, blah. Like, and this was 26 days. And then when I flew back, I had to do another month and a half in the States. Now, granted, I'm in my house, I'm with my family. It was so much easier, but yeah, to hear people complain about it in the States, man, you have no idea. It's been locked down 2 or 3 times.
Right. And this is what I respect about Europe. And I lived in Germany, but they don't play. I mean, it's not like
by the book. Everything is by the book. Yeah. And if you go against the grain, either you're going to be fined or you'll be arrested or something's going to happen. And somebody will, it doesn't matter. It could be a normal pedestrian coming up to you. They're going to let you know you're in the wrong, and they'll call the cops or do whatever they need to do.
Yep. That's it too. Man.
That's why it's so safe here.
Yeah, exactly. There is no going to court or calling. I mean, it's done. You did it.
It's done deal.
Yep, that's good stuff. So talk about this now when you're talking, let's talk about now COVID again. Talk to athletes right now, like say a high school athlete right now, because there's a lot of limitations now for them. And obviously now to be seen, I mean, they are, so my son's playing at Olathe West right now. They have now they just opened it up where, you know, your parents, like 2 people per player can come in, obviously spread out and watch the game, but it's not open. But talk about how these athletes now have to change now. Maybe even talk about social media and how important it is, or having a video or something personal set up for branding can help with your recruiting or reaching out. So when people have options to see you now, because it's so limited to that. Now that, who knows if the season even goes the full season? It could cancel. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Most definitely. I think the main thing right now is just prepare like there was a full stadium or there's a full arena. You know, the times are definitely tough. It's a little bit easier for me to say because I played in Turkey for 3 years, and the fans would get kicked out all the time. So we would play games without fans, and it's weird. It's weird. Yeah. But
out for what? What did they were fighting?
Throwing stuff on the court, threatening the referees, coins, lighters. I've seen homemade like M80s.
What?
All of it. Yeah, for sure. Like Game 4 of the finals when I was in Istanbul, Turkey with Besiktas, we played Fenerbahce. Game 4 was nobody in the stands except for like general managers and presidents.
Wow,
no fans.
That's wild.
In a closeout game in the finals.
Yeah, so, that's wild.
Right. But I think it's still your preparation still has to be key. You still have to treat it, like I said, like you're playing in front of 3,000 people. And that way, when it is time to post that video, to have that highlight tape, to be able to send it out to this JUCO, this Division I, this Division II, this AAU program, it's easy. because look, the way this guy warms up, the way this guy or this girl comes prepared, and look at the way that she's starting off the game. She's not lackadaisical. Or this guy is picking up his teammate. Even though he has to wear this mask in the game. I know in Topeka, the kids even have to wear masks during the game.
Yep, they do.
Honestly, it sucks. It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter, because at the end of the day, this is a year that we're not going to be able to get back. So how are you going to be able to get the best out of this situation? And but just staying prepared. So then when it is time, like you said, to kind of market yourself, build that brand, get those highlight tapes out, get tapes out to certain schools, it's like the pandemic's not even going on, because the coaches, the organizations, they see the product that they want to see.
Right. I love it, man. I love that. You're exactly right. And I think that's what's going to make, I think actually, I always try to look at the silver lining in things. I think because, I think most people would say that the kids these days are kind of spoiled-ish, what I'm saying, coming out. And I think this is not, I'm not saying it's a good thing, but I think it's making them tougher and making them adapt and making them having to overcome, right? Which I think is a good thing for those athletes that do well here this time frame. I think they'll do a lot better and progress further than they have in the past.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. And you mentioned it earlier in our talk, is getting out of that comfort zone. And that's one thing that my dad and my Uncle Chris always told me, and obviously Coach Wood too, is you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
True.
In the sooner that you learn that, the better off you're going to be in life. It doesn't matter, even I know we're talking about sports today, but it could be about anything. And just being out of that comfort zone, it's not going to do anything but help you. It's not going to hurt you.
No doubt, my man. That's good stuff. Yeah, I got a couple quick questions for you. You just answer them the way you see them. LeBron or Jordan?
Jordan.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about,
Jordan.
my man. All right.
Jordan.
All right. I agree, man. I'm with you.
Jordan. And I honestly, even when I was like just decompressing, when I was stressed out coming home from this pandemic stuff, I've turned on Game 6 against the Sonics. I'm turning on the Game 7 Eastern Conference Finals against the Pacers.
Right.
Because I just turned 31 in August, and I still didn't feel like I appreciated him the way that I should. And I just felt like, man, I got to go back and just watch. And I would just watch games, obviously the flu game and, all these different games. Come on, we all know that. But I remember watching these games on the couch with my dad when I was 6, 7, 8 years old. And I know he's the greatest. I know I want my mom and dad to buy me those shoes, but I didn't understand it. And now LeBron is probably the greatest athlete from top to bottom that we've ever seen. But it's just hard when you retire and go play another sport.
I agree.
And then you come back and then you dominate the sport that you were already dominating. You're dominating it again. And you're playing in the most physical era, and you're playing and you're averaging 30, but you're guarding everybody else's best scorer. I mean, it's a lot of stuff that young kids now, and I'll just say college kids on down, don't get about MJ. They don't understand. Hopefully the Last Dance helped him, but
yeah, I agree.
But I'm still a LeBron fan.
Yeah, me too.
I love LeBron, but it's Jordan. Yeah. Jordan's the GOAT.
Yeah, he is. He's the standard. And then who you think's gonna win this year? I mean, they opened it back up. I mean, I like the bubble. The bubble was legit. I like the bubble. I was talking about boy, because it took all the outside interferences that these guys have to deal with.
Yes.
Everybody knows when you go to an NBA game, that first half is a warm up. It's like
it ain't a joke. For sure, the first quarter.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure, the first quarter.
They're not even doing that. Like, get loose. Working the kinks out their knees.
The bubble was great. And the reason why I said that is because it literally was NBA players in an overseas setting.
Exactly.
And when I say the NBA, because a lot of people don't know over here, first of all, we have roommates on the road. NBA guys don't have roommates. So they weren't dealing with that for the whole 3 months. When we go on the road, we have a roommate.
Right.
Another thing is that they're putting the meals up. Like, yo, you don't know what I've eaten in Belarus. Like, I don't want to, you got this nice chicken Caesar salad. You got like the potatoes with the steak. Like, I don't I was eating white tomatoes in Belarus on a trip. Or, at one time in Usak, Turkey, they didn't have any sauce for the pasta.
Right.
So they brought out like hot ketchup. Like, so when I see that type of stuff, I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Come on. But then when you talk about only the basketball side of things, you get the best talent, the best basketball players in the world. And like you said, they have no outside distractions. What's it going to do? It elevates the game. In a normal year, Denver's not coming back 3-1.
No.
Because when they go down 3-1 and they're in LA for a closeout game, they're probably going to go out.
Right. Exactly.
That is what it is. Or, if Boston's down 3-1 in Miami, they're probably going to go to live on Sunday, and Monday they're going to get waxed, and that is what it is. And then you have a totally different lineup of who's playing in the finals. But no, I loved it. I loved it. You get the best talent in the world to focus on literally the task at hand for 3 months. And I feel like the product showed.
Yeah,
for sure.
Really, there was a better, pure, more. I mean, it reminded me of, like you said, they went hard, like from jump on.
Yes.
I've never seen cats playing that hard, like full game in the NBA. It was really, that's why I loved it. It was really good, like almost like college, like you said, or even European, just like
especially the Trailblazers. Yeah. They had a March Madness feel to them. Like you were almost wanting them to make the playoffs just because what Dame was doing. Like, yeah, for sure. For sure.
And then you could tell Dame he got tired, man. He couldn't do it all like that.
Ran out of gas, man.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. So this year, who you picking on NBA? You think the Lakers gonna do it?
I think come back? I think, a lot of, if they stay healthy, but that's not how I like to pick sports. I mean, obviously we all know injuries happen, God forbid, but I think the Lakers right now have the most complete team. I think a lot of people are asleep on the Bucks. I like the Bucks coming out of the East. I think Giannis will have a chip on his shoulder. I think he'll probably bring something new to his game, hopefully shooting it better.
Yeah.
And I hope not bringing the ball up as much. Yeah. I think that if he lets his teammates bring the ball up and feel good about themselves, he can still have 35 and 15 off of rebounds or running in transition hustle plays. He doesn't need to be the facilitator.
I agree.
So I'm looking forward to seeing Drew Holiday on that team. I was hoping Bogdanovich was going to be on that team because I played against him in Turkey, and he is legit. He's a competitor. He's unselfish. But I think they'll meet up. Okay. I think they'll meet up. I don't like all this Brooklyn.
You don't like the Brooklyn Five?
I don't. I mean, they're on Instagram Live talking about how many post-ups Kyrie's going to get in a game. Like if Kyrie Irving's posting up 9 times in a game, you're not getting to where you want to go. And he's a great player. My oldest son's name is Kyrie. It's not after him, but I'm just saying, like,
that's true.
We'll see. But I think the Lakers will win it all, to answer your question. But I think the Bucks and the Heat, as far as their chemistry and just the complete team top to bottom, I don't think they're far behind.
Gotcha. So if you could play another sport, if basketball, you just decided, the blue, you didn't. That time in your freshman year, like, you know what, basketball is not for me. What sport would that be right now if you played?
Baseball, hands down.
Okay.
Baseball. And not to toot my horn or anything, that was the one sport where I was a little bit older than everybody else because I had a late summer birthday. Right. But as opposed to the winter sports, I was one of the younger kids.
Right.
Not really playing up, but for my grade level, my age was a little younger, but I did it all. I love to pitch. I love to catch. I love to I play third, play the outfield.
Wow.
I hit well.
You had a glove.
Yeah. I just enjoyed it. And my dad was always on the staff of my little league, stuff growing up. It was just a good way for us to bond, play catch, all that stuff. And we had a pretty good team going to World Series in Des Moines. Right. Where else did we go? I think we had one in Wichita, stuff like that. So no, it definitely would have been baseball for sure.
Okay. And then for all those guys that are maybe getting recruited, Missouri State's looking at them. As you know, Dana Ford's there now, and he's trying to help build that program back up to at least where you guys were. What would you say to those athletes about your experience at Missouri State and to the fans there at Missouri State?
Man, it was my home away from home. My home away from home. The facilities now are even better than when I was there, but the dorms were up to date. The campus isn't too big. It's not too small. You know, you can get from pretty much one end of the campus to the other in about 15 minutes. You know, we had just opened up JQH Arena and we didn't even have the locker rooms there. Now they got the locker rooms. They got the training table. Man, they get cost of attendance now along with the stipend check. I mean, but on the basketball side of things, you can tell Dana wants to get that program back to where it belongs. And, you know, that energy that he brings, you know, and then that fan base, you know, obviously every fan base is gonna lack a little bit when the wins aren't there as much. And that's common sense. That's obvious. But there's no doubt that there's no better fans. Maybe Wichita up there, but there's no better fans in the Valley than Missouri State. That's the thing to do there. Obviously Drury's there as well. But still Missouri State's that D1 level. And they love to rally behind the Bears. And, you know, I hope that Dana can keep getting those recruits in because he's got some good guys, man, be able to put it together. So I'm looking forward to watching him this year.
Man, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Before we go, I want to ask you a serious question about, you know, the athletes today. Let's talk a little bit about, just lost my train of thought. Let's talk about the athletes today and branding as far as how important it is now. Since times have changed, COVID's hit, obviously video and pictures and all that. Talk about branding, not only just from a college athlete to pro, but, you know, all year round. Well, how can that be successful? Do you believe in it, first of all? And if so, what would you say to these athletes now about, you know, starting building something in a following and on social media and obviously more than that to help them?
For sure. I definitely think it's important. One thing that my father always told me was, you know, just your character and what people think of you, you know, people's perception of you is everything. And that basically that's your brand, you know? So every time you step out of the house, that's you're representing your brand. But to take it another step further, it's something that I kind of paid attention to, but never really took that next step forward until, you know, meeting with DJ, you know, some months ago and even talking with you. But it is important because there is going to be a life after sports. There is, and that's the harsh reality. So what can you do to build for yourself, to build for your family in a legit way and in a successful way to benefit off of your sports? And so I definitely think that it's important. And it's something that I'm even still learning things about. You know what I mean? And I have a ton more to learn. I'm looking forward to it. But I think it starts with your character. You know, your character has to be grade A for you to even have that opportunity. So it's important to handle that character stuff first. You know, have that good vibe for everybody that is looking at you to be able to capitalize on those moments whenever it's time.
Yeah. You know, what's funny about that, and I appreciate that, man, I really do, because I agree with you 100%. But the thing that we really want to do on the Q World, the Q Sports side of the Q Contrive marketing side, is we really want to make sure athletes understand, like you just said, sports is not forever and there's a life after that. So your branding of where you are right now is just your biggest time and spotlight time. That's your spotlight. That's your time to shine, right?
Right.
While you're shining, guess what? Everybody's looking at you. It is looking. There's some naysayers that may think they want you to fail. There's some people that like really care about you, love you, and there's some people in between. But we want to isolate that time and build that. So I'm thinking like, so our thought process at Q Contrive is, if you're shining right now, why aren't you talking to these CEOs of the company in Europe?
Right.
Milan,
right.
Why are we getting those people in front of you? Because they want to be in front of you. They want to talk to you. They want to get to know you. Like, you're balling. You're like a key figure in their community. Why aren't we building that network? I'm not saying it's going to create a job. It could not create anything, but there's opportunities there. So maybe you're done next year. They took you to lunch, or you guys sat down and chatted about your future and what you thought about, maybe some business ideas you may have, and they like that. Now you got some ways to come back after you play and people to reach out to that have like-mindedness or really remember you or really like you. And that's what I want to do in all realms. I mean, there's people who want to do real estate. There's people that may have business ideas. There's people that may have a lot of different things. Maybe you want to do your own camps and help train other students and give back, kids or whatever. It doesn't matter. Get people around you while you're shining And that's what I feel like is lacking right now. And especially, I feel like in our communities, as far as minorities, like we need to start changing the game and stop looking at like we're going to play ball forever and it's all about hoops. It's not. This is just a short time in your life that's going to help. If you use it right, could help propel you far beyond where you were in any sport,
Agreed.
That's the idea. So that's kind of what I'm trying to work forward and spread.
No, for sure, man. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Well, good, man. Well, good. I know you got a lot going on. First of all, I want to say thank you. We thank you from the Q World podcast side. If anything I can do on my side, obviously, you got my direct contact and all that. Would love to do that. I want you to give everybody your Twitter, your links and all that so they can reach out to you and connect.
Yeah, my just my social media, all of them, Twitter, Instagram. I'm even on LinkedIn, but obviously just type in my first and last name, Kyle Weems, but my Twitter and Instagram is at KJW, my initials, and then 3434. Just feel free to reach out.
Yeah, my man. And I'm Marlin Blakeney. Obviously, we're at Q World Podcast, and that's on Instagram and also Facebook. Also, we have a YouTube channel, Q World. My man, I appreciate you. Thanks again.
I appreciate you, man.
Your season ends when?
Probably around the beginning of May, and then the playoffs will start. So we still got some time. We already advanced to the top 16 in Euro Cup, so that's kind of a whole nother different type of season. So that should be done around the end of April, but the Italian League is what will push a little bit longer. So I think the finals have to be done like middle of June. So hopefully we'll be right there in the thick of things. That's the goal.
I love it. Hey, when you get back to town, man, obviously I'd love to get you in front of, there's some people that we'll talk offline, but that would love to obviously connect with you out in Springfield. Sure. And if I could help with that and do some things. And then other than that, man, just let me know what else we can do, man. I appreciate you a whole lot. I wish you the best. You the man. That's all I can tell you, bro. You the man.
I appreciate you for having me, man, for sure.